Hello, welcome back, and this is Jeff Byers, NE150. This is Module 6, and this is Part 4 of our video series. And we still have it in Arnold Render Preview. So let's go to Renderer and go back to Viewport. And let's go ahead and hit the 6 key. This is about the best we're going to get out of the viewport, so that's okay. If you don't see even that, just hit the 6 key. That's with your textures displayed. 5 is when you don't. So whatever works best for you. A lot of times when I'm building, I just keep it on 5 so the textures don't get in the way. Meaning that just doesn't keep me from getting those snap properly. Alright, so let's go ahead and turn on the grid. So go to Show and click on Grid again. And what we're going to do is we're going to go ahead and get all of this. We're going to do some set dressing now. Now that the textures are showing and you're happy with the textures, now we need to move into set dressing, and then we're going to go ahead and light the scene, and then we're going to go ahead and render the scene. Okay, so that's kind of what we're going to be doing. So let's go ahead and get started. Again, we're going to go ahead and flatten these out and get those back where they were. Whoops. There we go. And get these back up. Okay, there we go. Alright. Okay, so, what do you do first? Do you build the floor first? It doesn't matter. Whatever works best for you. Let's go ahead and get this rotated up. And these are all up like this. I've got the snap on for relative snap on. If you want to turn that off, you can always go into the tool itself and change that to off if you don't want to have that snapping on. Okay, I like it on. And I can turn it off and on whenever I want. Okay, so the whole idea is that everything is textured now. Now we can go ahead and start building these pieces together. Okay. We're going to place these back where they were, right? And get them lined up. Okay, I think that's correct on that. And go to the top view and find out for sure. Yep, I think that's right. And so I will go to the top view. Makes it a little easier for me to see what the heck's going on. Get these lined up right. Alright, get this one lined up. Alright, so let's go ahead and there we go, and that one's off a little bit. Okay. Oh. There we go. Alright, so the whole idea about this is the beauty of these pieces that we've just created. And we're going to go ahead and we can mirror these over so it completes an entire door. I'm going to leave this kind of where it is, and I'm going to build around this. So I think I'm going to have, I don't want a bulkhead or not a bulkhead, a support right there. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to have one of these little guys over here and move him into place. So I'm going to go Control D and duplicate it and bring it right to the edge of this. So that should work just perfectly. Okay. And I'm going to see if I can't move everything over. I'm going to turn the grid snap off for just a minute. There we go, just move everything over so far so we can build. Okay. Alright, so this will hopefully be very simplistic and easy to do. Alright, so with this one here, I do want to mirror it over to the other side. So we'll have two doors and they'll be able to open and close. Let's go ahead and get started with that. Just click on the object and go to Mesh and Mirror. I've already got this set up. You want to make sure you cut geometry is turned off. Uncheck it. You want to copy it. You want to go into the Z. You want it to be negative, and you want to turn combine to original off. Click mirror. Click off. Select that piece that you just created, and let's move it over. Go ahead and let's turn on the grid snap now. I think that's on already again. There we go. And that should grid snap it right where it needs to be. Let's go ahead and click on that guy right there. Hit the G key. And I know the pivot points are way off. Whoops. Click off again and click on the one that you just created. And there you go. Don't worry about the pivot points. I'm going to hit the W key. I'm going to hit the D and the V, and we're going to go ahead and snap it to the corner. So this one is the same thing, D and V, and snap it to one of the corners here. We can get a little more precise here with this if we need to. And so D and V, there we go. And with this one, I think we got it. And so we want to do the same thing with this one, D and V. There we go, and that one. And then this one right here. And we're going to go D and V. D as in David, V as in Victor. Alright, so I think we got it. One more little move here. There we go. Alright, so now we're going to start putting it all together. So I want to go ahead and I'm going to turn off the grid snap and move all of these over. It gives us lots of room. Or we can just, well, I'll just move it over. It's probably better to do that. And we'll take this guy right here, and we want to do the tops and the bottoms. Okay, keep it simple. Hit the Q key, and let's go ahead and shift select these two. And we'll do Control D, Control D, and hit the W key, and let's move that over. And I'm going to go ahead and click on grid snap again. Let's just move that over to where it snaps. No, I don't want that one. That one hides too much of the door. So we'll save that one for a little bit later. This is the one I want. So I'm going to click on these two guys. Control D. There we go. And so we'll snap that. And that should be snapping perfectly on there. Shouldn't have any gaps at all. That's great. Alright, so let's see here. We have a gap in the floor because of this. Okay, then the door frame. And so we'll have to mirror this one, or not mirror, just duplicate it and move it across like that. There we go. And that should fill in that area there perfectly. There we go. Alright, so that is fixed, and now we're going to have a long piece. Okay. And Control D. And of course, you guys can, I mean, this, you're going to build this yourself, right? You're going to build this yourself. I'm okay with that. So I'm going to let you guys do that, and I'll come back. This is basically how you do it. And everything should snap together. The whole idea is that we have modular pieces that fit together. I'm going to do this one again. And I'll do Control D. And move that one over. And you can see that we're just kind of building that out. Okay. And maybe we'll have a spot here, Control D, where we have a break. Okay, we have a little bit of a break in how this looks. There we go, like that. Okay, and that kind of breaks it up a little bit, and then we go into the those next pieces that we have. Maybe we have one of these guys. Okay, so let me just continue doing that, and I'm going to build mine the way I see fit, and then of course you can build yours the way you see fit, and I'll show you what I've got when I'm done, and then you guys will continue working, and I'm going to pause and get this all set up, and we'll come back in just a little bit. Okay, we're back, and you can see I've got half of mine built, and you see how I got it all built and constructed. All these are small modular pieces that I can put together. I keep putting the originals off to the side as I duplicate them. And now I really like what I have, and so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to create one more piece. So to do that, I am going to go ahead and just select this section right here. Okay, that piece right there, I don't need this one. That whole entire section there. And again, I don't need this. Just those other pieces. There we go. And I'm going to do a Control D, and then I'm going to turn off, make sure you turn off Grid Snap, and just move it over. There we go. And we're going to go ahead and deselect these guys. I want to go ahead and duplicate this real quick, so I'm going to Control D, duplicate that, move it over. So the idea here is this is as long as I want to get with the hallway, okay, for our render. So I'm going to go in here and go ahead and turn on Grid Snap, and let's go ahead and do the section. Whoops. See how they pop together? So you'll have to do each section at a time like this and pop them in. There we go. Yeah, there we go. So it's unfortunate, but the snap just doesn't understand. It puts them together. Let's go ahead and do this. A bigger piece. It doesn't take long. And I may have that relative snap off. I wonder if that's what's doing it. Let's go in here, and I might have forgotten about that. Move step, retain component spacing. Yeah. Alright. Had that on. Alright, the last one. Okay. Alright, so that's good. So after several tries of trying to mirror one entire side over and crashing several times, I decided to just ditch that effort, and I took out one section. I've got 3 sections, you can see there I've got 3 sections here, and I think that's good because I think we can get a nice good render with 3 sections. Now what do my 3 sections consist of? Well, 2 large panels and 1 smaller panel. Okay, and then I put a thinner piece, and then a pillar, and then let me get it back in here, and you can see that I've got another piece right there. So it turned out pretty good. I'm pretty happy with it, and the way it looks is really nice. I think I'm pretty happy. To get the stuff over to the other side, you just want to select the ceiling and the floor too, and Control duplicate it over, and you'll just have to rotate the pieces by manually. It stinks. It's just how it is. Mirror does not work on that at all. Yeah, you'll crash, believe me. So if you do, you just have to do it by hand, and it's not a problem to do it. It just takes a little more time. Right, so with that said, then you can just move it into place. Then we're going to move forward with the next video, which is getting your camera in and then start setting up your lights. Okay, that sounds great. I'll see you then.